What's up, y'all? I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to Durant to River TV. And like the video, share, and or subscribe if you would be so kind. But thank you for supporting Durant to River TV. And in this video, I want to talk about Mr. Brandon Marshall, Mr. I Am Athlete. We know that he started the platform I Am Athlete. We know now that he put up the money for his podcast and his whole platform, you know, and it's probably a lot of people included. The chef, the cameraman, the editors, whatever the case may be. I have to say, I have to first give him credit for putting that together, because if it wasn't for Brandon Marshall putting that platform together, we wouldn't have more of an insight on the players, especially former players, and how and what their experiences were during their careers, how they felt about the league, how they felt about the policies, the rules, the officiating, and all that stuff. So we learned a lot more about the culture of the NFL through I Am Athlete. And of course it was during, like pandemic times, when everybody was sitting down in lockdown, a lot of us tuned into I Am Athlete because it became a big thing and during that time. And every guy that was a part of the I Am Athlete crew were very unique in their own way, and you could respect all of their perspectives on, a topic of discussion. And we know that Fred Channing and Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, joined Brandon Marshall on I Am Athlete. And eventually, in the future, Channing and Fred departed from I Am Athlete and started and joined Ryan. It was Ryan Clark on the Pivot. So Channing, Ryan, and Fred, they're a hit with the Pivot. It's doing a lot better than I Am Athlete right now. And then eventually Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, ended up. I don't know. I have to double check it. I don't know if he left or not, but he definitely is connecting more with other platforms, like Shannon Sharp's platform. So I don't know. On the surface, it looks like Brandon Marshall's a little salty because he feels like he put this platform together, and then all of a sudden they left him hanging, and he put up all the money to start it and all that stuff, and he's kind of throwing him under the bus and all that stuff. So I can see things both ways. I can try to understand, but I'm gonna tell you my opinion on why I think Channing, Fred, and Ocho eventually left the platform. And I'll briefly say why I think Ocho stayed on a little bit longer before he left. But as far as Fred and Channing, I think it was only so long that they could keep dealing with the up and down personality of Brandon Marshall. I feel like Brandon Marshall was too obsessed with trying to be similar to these media people who like to ask certain people who are celebrities or have a name controversial questions that could put them in an uncomfortable situation or on a hot seat for some reason. And it seemed like every time he would have someone on that people are looking forward to hearing from, Brandon Marshall every now and then will ask a question, or he'll try to put something out there to make it seem like, oh, this person has some problems or some issues. Now, we know Brandon Marshall battled a lot of mental health issues. You know, we know that he ain't all the way wired too tight. There's a couple of screws a little loose up there, or it was during his career. Even though we understood, I supported his stance on, you know, I forget what his diagnosis was, if he has ADHD or something like that. I'm not speaking against that, but I'm just talking about just his spurts of anger and then causing controversy. But it's kind of spilled over after his NFL career, and I feel like that was becoming annoying for Fred and Channing. I felt like they're pretty peaceful, laid back. They want the guests. You could see on the pivot. They're going to make their guests feel welcome. They're going to make them feel comfortable. They're not going to ask them some controversial questions, nothing that's going to incriminate them or put them in a situation where they feel like they're being attacked and they got to defend themselves. Channing, Fred, and Ryan don't do that. Brandon Marshall does, though. Now, I feel like Ocho Cinco wasn't feeling the stuff that Brandon Marshall was doing too, but Ocho, he's so laid back. You know, he don't really judge people. He try not to judge people, you know what I'm saying? He just tried to stay in his lane, and he enjoyed the I Am Athlete platform, and he knew how beneficial it was for him, for setting himself up for other bigger platforms as far as podcasting and stuff like that, getting on people's shows. But I feel like if Ocho Cinco did truly leave, I just feel like it's mainly because, you know, he tried to be loyal, and maybe Channing and Fred, they left so swiftly that they probably didn't even give, whether they gave Ocho the heads up on it or not. I just felt like Ocho was like, man, I don't want to just up and just leave Brandon Marshall like this quick. Like, dang, he already lost two of his main guys. Now it's just me and him. Now we got to recruit some people, and then, you know, you started seeing other guys join the platform. Shady McCoy, I think Brandon Jennings joined. You know, he started having basketball players. Like, he was. So this is the thing. Brandon Marshall can blame all these other people and say, oh man, they didn't put into the platform, and I'm 12 million in the hole, all this other stuff. But the thing is, if they didn't ask you to be on a platform and you want them to join you, and you put up all of this stuff, and everybody, if it was already an agreement in the beginning that everybody's just going to just bring their numbers up, and we're using this to help bring awareness and all this stuff like that, you don't act like it's, oh, I got it, guys. Just come on my platform. Let's just do our thing, and let's just talk about NFL stuff, guys. Don't do that in the beginning, and all of a sudden you say, man, I put up all this money, and these guys just left me hanging, and he's going over there, and he's going there. Like, nigga, you're corny, bro. Like, stop. You know what I mean? It's like you come off like a manipulator. You come off like a snake. Someone who will throw rocks and hide your hand, or you'll be in their face and, man, I love you, man. And then behind their back, it's like, man, I can't stand that motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what you say? You know, you kind of talk, you know, I don't know. I just feel like, all in all, the rest of the guys that left you, Mr. Brandon Marshall, they couldn't deal with your antics anymore. They couldn't deal with, you know, your childlike behavior. Everything in the game. You know, it's okay to take things serious and be serious in certain moments when people are expressing certain things, or if they're going through things and they're expressing their feelings about something that happened in their career. You know, don't wait until you don't listen to come up with a new thing and be like, okay, all right, let me ask him this time. Let me just act like I'm listening. Yeah, okay. So what do you think about this? Like, bruh, chill out. Stay in the moment. Stop trying to be an opportunist and look for the next controversial thing for ratings and content. The content is going to sell itself because you guys are already, NFL legends or NFL greats, you know, or just NFL players in general. But be realistic. Be real, bro.